You mentioned just play catch. That's the part that's been a struggle for young Marco through his short stint this year with the big club. How do you handle that, Byrnesy?
Move him to the outfield. I'm serious. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. I mean, eventually that's where I think he's going to end up.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Is it that easy? I kept thinking to myself, and Grandy and I even shared a little look on this one. I think we had the same thought. He's like, if you can play shortstop, you can play anywhere. And I was like, but what if you can't play shortstop?
There's that, right?
Then can you still play anywhere? Because if you look at Marco Luciano right now, that's not the first sentence that comes to my mind of like, well, he can play shortstop. I'm like, no, he looks like he can't play shortstop.
That's kind of the point of the whole discussion,
if you can't play shortstop, then where else can you maybe play? And I don't know, like there are people who can hit the ball and cannot play defense in the major leagues.
Right.
The Giants have a few of them. They've had a few of them the last few years. Jock Peterson was one. I think that they feel Jorge Soler is another.
Yeah.
At times, Darren Ruff looked like one. Ruff is not always on the move. I don't know. Look, we're not there yet with Marco, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know what the next move is. I'm with you. The way they're playing him, it feels like they are preparing to move him down.
Right.
And they've got him right now because sometimes you need somebody that you could just put over there at shortstop until Nick Ahmed comes back. But by the way, with the way this is constructed right now, you don't even need Luciano to do that. Tyler Fitzgerald is back tonight. He can play shortstop. Tyro Estrada in a pinch can play shortstop. I mean, hell.
Wisely's over there.
Wisely is going to be your starting shortstop for a little while. My goodness, the way Marco has looked this last week, you could probably get that out of Wilmer Flores.
Easy.
You could.
At short?
He plays third and second.
Right. A little easier than short.
Yes.
From a movement standpoint.
Again.
And Wilmer is not on the move.
No, he's not. But can he execute a ground ball that's hit right to him? I bet that he could.
Yeah.
I bet that he could.
Well, Byrnesy seems to think that 30 minutes of fungos and put him on the jugs machine for a week, and he's ready to go. So, as opposed to...
How?
Well, that's why I was asking, does he need a month back in AAA to learn the outfield?
This is. Oh, you mean in the outfield. I'm sitting here. Sometimes we do this. We act like we see someone for 10 seconds, and then we go, oh, you know what he needs? Do you think the Giants are just asleep at the wheel? Like, send him back down so he can work at shortstop. What do you think he's been doing for 5 years?
Right, working at shortstop.
And this is what it looks like when he gets here? You know what I thought Byrnesy's best point was? He's hitting the ball because he's just so thrilled to not have his glove on that like he feels great at the plate, which tells me that this is, and it has to be, this has got to be psychological. Nobody's that bad in the bigs with the glove. Nobody's that bad that you literally you can't touch the ball with your glove every time it comes to you. These have been some of the worst errors I've ever seen at this level. There's no way he's that bad. If he had that in him, they would have said he was a DH when he turned 20.
Right.
Well,
then what is it?
I have no idea.
It's either they haven't coached him up enough, or he hasn't gotten any better, or it is mental.
He's got a block.
Well, if the block is that he's a ninth inning choker, then stop playing him in the ninth inning. And that was your suggestion late last week.
That was my idea.
You can be your 1 through 7, and we'll give you a quality start. If you go 6 innings and you have 3 or fewer errors, then you get a quality start at short.
I love it.
I mean, is that what we're doing here with our starting shortstop?
Yeah, we'll give him some wins. We'll give him some wins, and Wisely or Ahmed can come in and get a save.
This would be like having a quarterback who can't play in the fourth quarter.
I mean,
Brock Purdy is, hey, touchdown Niners, it's 20-17. And for the fourth quarter, here comes Josh Dobbs, because Brock Purdy can't play in the fourth quarter because he tightens up.
Look, the bottom line is if they can get anybody else to even hit half as much, they'll take it. And so as long as Wisely is swinging the bat like this, well, then there's no issue here. There's obviously no issue. They're going to put Wisely out there if he keeps getting 2 hits every night. I don't know if that's going to continue, but this is the big leagues. And so as much as a lot of us want to go, come on, you got to live with the rookie mistakes because that bat, it's just tantalizing. No, this is too excessive.
Yeah.
Yes, you can live with some bumps in the road. This is way too excessive. You can't drop every ground ball that's hit to you in the 9th inning. You're on a team that's trying to win. They're trying to compete. They're trying to go to the playoffs and do something this year.
And you're a team that is trying to be pitching and defense. And yeah, the offense has been banana land of late. You're averaging 7.6 runs a game over the last 10, 76 runs in 10 games. You've won 8 of those, and you've actually won 9 of 11. The bats have been hot, but let's be fair. The bats will cool off at some point.
Sure.
When you face good pitching. Maybe it's tonight against Zach Wheeler, a very good pitcher, and then you're going to be in a spot where you don't want to be giving up 90 feet or giving up surefire double play ground balls because you've got inexperience over there at short.
You can't do it. Logan Webb is a sinker baller pitcher. He is a ground ball pitcher. You have got to turn to when the ball comes to you. This is the major leagues. So, yeah, I would eliminate the whole thought of, just, live with it because it's not like we're going anywhere this year anyway. That's the thought that I can't stand. So you got to get rid of that thought. I'm not saying I want to send the guy down, but I'm at a loss. The idea that I had last week, if Wisely's hitting, no, Wisely's the better option. If he stops hitting and Ahmed's not back, I'd still be willing to put the guy out at short. But, yeah, not in the 8th or 9th inning. And that's a real hamstrung situation.
Yeah.
If you've got someone who's a starter that you literally feel like, and we're not allowed to use him in the 8th or the 9th, it's like going into every game with a roster that's smaller than your opponent.
Exactly.
Because you have to hold a shortstop for the 8th or the 9th inning.
And think about that because you're already holding a catcher, spot
right,
for the who knows what inning because of just pure emergency. And already you have a team that carries, 12 hitters? You have a bench of 4 guys. Sometimes it's 5 guys. It's not much bigger than that because you want all the arms you could possibly have when you're in a spot, especially tonight. You're going with an opener. So tonight, The expectation would be 5 pitchers, I would guess. If I put the over-under at 4.5 pitchers tonight being used, if things go well, you might only need 4.
Yep.
But you probably would go over 4.5 when you know that you're throwing an opener, and then you take the other 4 starters who won't pitch, and then you've got Doval, who you probably would like to avoid if you can. He's thrown so much of late, and so now you're getting down to a little bit of a roster crunch on the pitching side, and from the player position side, you don't want to have to burn a roster spot for a guy just because you don't think that he can catch the ball in late innings.
They've got 13 tonight. They've got 13 offensive players tonight. Yeah.
So that means you have 4 on your bench. Because you're going with 9.
Correct.
So you got 4.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
A shortstop, a catcher.
And one of them's the catcher.
Yeah.
One of them's the catcher that you have to hold. You have to hold to the end on that one.
Yeah, so one of them would be Wilmer, I would imagine, right? Because he's not starting at first.
That's correct.
And then you've
Tyler
got
Fitzgerald is not starting, so
right.
That's a second one. And then
Casale would be the third.
Right. And then
Luciano would be the fourth because he's not starting at shortstop.
Yeah, Marco Luciano.
So if you started Luciano, then you would be down to 3, presuming that you're not going to want him to play all 9 innings of defense.
That's kind of the issue right now while you're going with Wisely. Wisely's a left-handed bat. If you do get into the late innings, let's say you're down 4-2, here comes Wisely to the plate, 2 men on, 2 men out, and the Phillies pull a lefty out of the pen. What do you want to do?
Hot shot?
Yeah. Come on, hot shot.
What do? You
hit Marco Luciano, but what if he ties the game? Does he then run out to shortstop for the top of the 9th in the 4-4 tie? Ah, crap.
Yeah, nervous.
I mean, they're going to be butting the ball at him on purpose the way it's going right now.